All right. Due to my recent travel experiences and the insurgent of all of the PPE that everybody is now currently wearing, I have seen a lot of people wearing PPE incorrectly, and the average citizen does not have any training on it. And unfortunately, I've even seen a lot of quote professionals, restoration contractors, people that specialize in specialty cleaning, all also still haven't figured out how to take off gloves, wear respirators, those kind of things. I'm going to show you how it's very easy to cross-contaminate yourself, leading to a very large sense of safety. And a lot of people translate the word safer and they forget the ER part to safer, and in their mind they're now safe. Remember though, nothing beats washing your hands with soap and water, and PPE is the last line of defense. PPE is designed to protect you when all else fails. But what I'm going to do right quick is show a couple of things that I've seen people doing recently, and not just recently, but even in classes where I'm training restoration professionals that have never even practiced taking off gloves. In the fire department, when we do training, in order to put our PPE on, what we call bunker gear, we have to do that in less than 2 minutes. And no one ever gets it right the first time. And it takes a lot of time to do it in order to get it done in less than 2 minutes and have all your gear on correctly. So people are going out and buying gloves and other stuff with zero training under the concept of, I've heard numerous times, well, it helps a little. Well, helping a little doesn't take care of it. It needs to be done correctly. But the way I'm going to show you, and I'm going to actually put blow germ on, you shouldn't be able to get anything on you. And yes, that's an excessive amount, and I have it on here so that you can actually see. And if you turn the black light off, there's enough on here that you can physically see it even without the black light. But the thing of it is, you can't see germs, and you can have a lot of germs on your hands, and you don't have to be able to see it quite this well. Okay. And if you come in and you touch and you slide down to grab that glove, you now have contaminant on your hands. If you reach up like this to grab, you now have contaminants on your hands. If you're trying to do something like this and you're fumbling and you do this, you have contaminants on your hand. And I'll rub up here where you can see a little bit better. You can now see that right there. It doesn't take much to get things on you. If you got something that when you're done you do not get cross-contaminated, I'm not telling you that you have a wrong way, other than when you have the germs on you, that's the wrong way. The only way I'm going to ever promote you coming out of PPE as fast as possible is if you're on fire. Well, if you're on fire, well, that's a different story. Life over limb, okay? But you're going to carefully take and you're going to pull this glove and you're going to come all the way out of the glove. There's no reason to stop part way through and fumble while trying to use the other glove to get the things off. Then typically what you're going to do now is you're going to take and roll that glove up inside of this glove. Now, if you tip your wrist back a little bit, not all the way, but a little bit, it's going to automatically start to create a gap. That gap is now going to allow me to take my clean finger and press down on my wrist and come under and raise up underneath that glove. Now I'm able to take and roll this glove inside out. Now I can take any of this part right here that has contaminant on it and then fold it in, and you're not going to get anything on you. Now I'm actually going to take some glow germ and I'm going to liberally put this all over my gloves, because I'm going to be now taking these gloves off in such a manner as to not get anything on me. And I'm trying to get it all up over in places, and enough that no one can say that it wouldn't have easily come off. Now there's an outside chance with me putting as much of this stuff on, I may wind up with a a trace particle on my hair or something like this, because this is a powder. But all right, so now I'm going to use the same techniques that I just used a moment ago. I'm going to take and I'm going to pinch the wrist, and I'm going to go slowly because I do not want to dislodge this powder and put it up into the air and get it back onto myself. So now I'm going to take this glove and I'm going to roll it into the other glove. Now I'm going to take my clean finger, which I currently have no glow germ on myself, and I'm going to come under this glove. I'm going to lift up, get another finger underneath it, and I'm going to gently once again bring this glove to the inside. Oh, there went a piece of glow germ right on my knuckle. I watched it float right onto it. Okay. Now I'm going to roll this in, fold it over. We're now going to discard this glove off camera once again, other than the one spot that I saw float. I'm not going to go into discussions about what this does and doesn't protect you from. Wearing them wrong and taking them off wrong and all of that stuff is still exposing you at a significant risk if you don't know how to wear them. Also, if you come in closer, you're going to see that there is a significant gap in between my nose and the mask. All that's doing, if you can feel the air rushing past your eyes and going in, or the air rushing out of your mask and blowing in your eyes, this mask is not doing you any good. And if you breathe in through your nose, which most people do, and out the mouth, it's doing nothing. It's supposed to be up here. Also, they have these things, and if you're not used to it, these metal clips, they're supposed to be pushed in and compressed around to conform on your nose. So pushing it down is uncomfortable. Well, people don't do that. People don't like to do things that are uncomfortable. But in order for this mask to properly fit, it has to be pushed in so that way it conforms around your nose and your cheekbones. The other thing too that I see people doing all the time is I see this. Doing this crisscross, people think that that is causing it to make a better seal. I can actually feel air starting to come in because it actually is causing it to bunch. The only correct way to wear this respirator is like this. The other thing I see people doing all the time is this thing right here. Not only with their masks, but their gloves too. And they do this bit with it. These things weren't designed for 8-hour, all day long, living in the world use. They were designed for work shifts. This mask was designed to be disposed of at the end of a task. Saw on the airplane yesterday. So yeah, Fred, I totally understand what you're talking about there. And meanwhile, here's what's happening. All right, so right now you can see that I have nothing on my face. In order to take off this respirator, guess what I see everybody doing? What's on my face now? Do I have glow germ?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you do something like this. Or you do something like this. And then you do this bit. Guess what just happened to you?
Just contaminate your face.
You are now exposed, or have a greater risk of potential exposure. So guys, without proper knowledge, proper training on how to use this stuff, I see people performing tasks that they think they're safer doing. In reality, they're actually putting themselves at more risk. The other thing too is, I hate to break it to you guys, facial hair and respirators do not really go together. All of this hair right here, this hair is a highway for particulates and hazards to be able to suck in through. So all of you guys out there with the sexy beards, these are not approved for wearing with beards. These are what are referred to as negative pressure respirators. That means you're sucking air in